Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bear Reviews. Tonight's little pickup is a 25th anniversary beer, actually by Brooklyn Brewery. This is their 25th anniversary lager. I had a quick nosy at it because it's 8.6%, and I think it was brewed for 2013, so it's got about a year's worth of age on it. And if I read rightly, it is a Doppelbock. Bruto Doppelbock intensity and re-fermented in the bottle. So I'm assuming it's the 25th anniversary lager Doppelbock. So I shall get this little cork off. I really like Brooklyn Brewery. I've yet to do a review of the eponymous lager, the Brooklyn Lager, on the channel yet, but I can guarantee you it's one of those beers that if it's quite a lot of places in England have it now, thanks to James Clay's importers and stuff, and it is one of those beers that I think, oh look how much smoke's going on the top there, that's so cool, that I genuinely think is a good beer, and I can have quite a few times. It travels well if it is actually travelled from America, compared to things like the Sam Adams Boston Lager, which was great in America, really enjoyed it in America, but lacked a lot in England, and I think it's actually brewed in England as well. This is the Sam Adams one. Well, I don't think Brooklyn is, I think it's still brewed in Brooklyn. Garrett Oliver, the head brewer at Brooklyn, is a fantastic guy, does a lot of teaching seminars, and as a professional brewer, he's quite a bit of a role model. His books are great as well. He's a really interesting chap. Met him a couple of times to chat to, and he's more than willing to share information and knowledge. They're a great brewing company in that respect. I didn't get to go visit them when I went to New York a couple of years ago because I wasn't humongously... I was into craft beer, but we didn't spend entire holidays searching for beer like we do these days. Sorry, Mum. It's got a cool little spiel on the back about how they first started up. First started serving Brooklyn Lager in Pierogi 2000 Gallery in the early 90s, and then moved to Williamsburg, which is kind of hipsterville now. It's also where Vice is, which is like the ultimate hipster magazine and stuff. Yeah, just a little bit of a spiel on the back. I won't bother spoiling it for you. But it's from Steve Hindy, who's the president of Brooklyn Brewery. So yeah, it's a Doppelbock. It pours out a nice... It's re-fermented in the bottle, and I wasn't exactly cautious with pouring it, so it's a little bit hazy, but can you see it's sort of like a nice... apricot, almost looks kind of like a double IPA in terms of colour. Nice, burnt orange sort of colour, and it's got a slightly off-white head that is lacing really, really beautifully on the side of the glass as well. Looks pretty darn nice, really does. So, going for a nose. Interesting. It smells to me quite orangey, like juicy marmalade. I get a lot of orange and a bit of resin and pine too, and a bit of caramel and toffee underneath it. But it genuinely smells quite IPA-esque, in my opinion, my professional opinion, which is a bit surprising. I thought it might be, as a Doppelbock, I thought it might be quite malt dominant, but you know, I was wrong. So, cheers everyone, let's give it a try. Now on the palate, it isn't as hoppy. It's a lot more. It's a lot more malt based. I'm getting quite a lot of like caramelized, almost burnt sugar flavours actually. There's a nice warming, smooth caramel, a little bit of sweetness. It's very crisp and clean. There's like a defined, very smooth but distinct. It is quite bitter, but it's not green. It's very palate pleasing as opposed to stripping and astringent. A lot of caramel, a bit of toffee, but I'm getting like an overall hint of just like slightly burnt sugar flavour over the top of it, and the mouthfeel is pretty weak. It's quite light on the palate. There's a nice fizzy effervescence, but it's very watery. The flavours don't last very long at all. And I've had a lot better Bocks. It just lacks a bit of punch, a little bit of pizzazz, and even the flavours, kind of drawing them out, you can probably tell by my reaction, I wasn't exactly like, wow, it's overpowering. It's not particularly overpowering, it's not particularly strong in flavour, it's not punched above its weight. It doesn't feel the alcohol it is, and I don't think that's a good thing potentially with this. It's a bit of a shame, really. It's a bit of a shame. Let me have a look. No, I think it says they kind of brew this as a style of a Vienna lager. So the kind of malt forward, but also can be quite hoppy Vienna style of lagers, and then they brewed it up in terms of strength. But I'm not entirely sure if it's actually gained anything. If anything, it's just a little bit more. There's just a bit of sweetness and a little bit of oranginess. Just as you kind of breathing back, there's a little bit of orangey and marmaladiness, but it's a little bit muddled. There's not much to it. It's watery. It's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit of orange in it, and it's quite a lot of burnt caramel flavours. Kind of a burnt sugar, just a bit ashy. Yeah, that's the word I want to say. It's a bit ash-like. I'm not entirely sure if I actually like it very much. Bit of a shame, really. I do like the Brooklyn Lager. I do. Like I said, it's pretty much everywhere, so I'm often safe when I go to a restaurant and they've got nothing else in. That's a really good fallback. I'm not choosing it because it's the only thing there, but because I quite like it. On this, I'm not entirely sure if I do. Compare it to your basic adjunct lager, it's of course better. There is just a little bit more in terms of flavour to it. It's a bit more depth, I suppose. Again, I'm getting a little bit of hot flavour and a little bit of sweetness too, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm struggling really to want to kind of mark it or grade it. I have a feeling it's probably past its prime, being brewed for last year. But then again, it's a double box strength. It may be, 8.6%. It might just, well, it probably should have aged a little bit well at least. So, what do I give it? Let's go for a 5 out of 10, shall we? There is some the sweet caramel flavour and toffee that is there is pleasant. I like the aroma. There's this nice. It's quite a pungent hop aroma, but no, it's a little bit more balanced. It's not like you've got a full-blown American IPA in terms of smell. It does smell quite English IPA, shall we say. A bit spicy and orangey, marmalade-y, but there's a little bit of resin in there too. I like that. I like the bit of orange that comes through after the initial caramel, but I don't like the ashy flavour. I'm not a big fan of the mouthfeel. Good carbonation though. There is a nice little effervescent carbonation, but it's not thick enough and it just doesn't coat the mouth enough and the flavour just doesn't last long enough. So yeah, bit of a shame. I like the bottle, I like the design, I like the brewery. I'm just not sure if I like this particular beer, and that's a pity. That is a pity. I'm going to probably keep the bottle though, because it's got, you might not be able to see it, Can you see it? It's embossed. It's a bottle with it's got the Brooklyn B logo on it. It does say Brooklyn Brewery engraved. Oh, the glass, the actual bottle is moulded like that. But there you go. Please like, favourite, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think if you've had this. I would like to know if anyone's had it when it was kind of first released and what they experienced. In fact, I'll do a bit of searching on YouTube because I'm finding it pretty lacklustre and I wonder if I had it a bit past its prime. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Until next beer review. Cheers.